Hello and welcome to creating a space that supports and inspires. Today, I'm going to walk you through one of the 9 sectors of the Feng Shui compass. And today it's Sector 1. So hopefully you've had a chance to download the PDF file that came along with the video link. And if not, that you've got some paper that you can write on. And if you need to gather those things, go ahead and pause the video now, and then you can return and we'll get started. So to get started, before we get too much into the, what's in front of us and what we're going to do, let's just take a really deep breath and a deep exhale out the mouth. And let's do that again. In through the nose and out through the mouth. And again. So just to get us centered, get us anchored into this space. Hopefully you've got your phone notifications turned off. You're not going to have any distractions. You and your space, whether it's your home that you're addressing or your business, this is important enough for you to take the time and to really be present with what's going on. We're going to do some self-reflection. We're going to do a little bit of guided meditation, some exercises to work you through this sector of your home. And be patient with this. And if at any time during this you need to pause the video because you need more time to write or anything like that, or to take a break, go ahead and pause it, and then you can just start up again, of course, wherever you left off. This sector that we're doing is one of the 9 main sectors or sections of the DIY Feng Shui workbook that I created. And my intention was to create a workbook that you could buy off the shelf and work through it on your own. And it absolutely is that kind of a workbook. But I also wanted to provide you an opportunity to guide you through one of the sectors, so that then you could take this experience and move through the other 8 sectors, or maybe there's just one other sector you want to work on, or maybe this is the only sector you want to work on. But at least you've got some guidance, or you kind of see the flow of it and how it can be used, even to share with a friend or a parent or something like that. Or even it's like your husband gets home, hey, let's sit down and do this together, or your spouse. So anyway, before we pick up our pens and get going here, I'm going to ask you to sit back in your chair. And I'd like you to uncross all of your body parts. That means your legs, your hands, your fingers. And I really just want you to settle in and feel really grounded and anchored. Wherever you're at, maybe you're at work, maybe you're sitting on the couch, or maybe in your bedroom or in your office, just really center in here and stay grounded and connected with me through this, because how we're going to start this section off is through a guided meditation. I apologize for that beep. That was not supposed to happen. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to have you close your eyes. Close your eyes and get really relaxed, and take a big deep breath like we did at the beginning, in through your nose and out your mouth. And as you continue these deep breaths, breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth, each exhale, I want you to get more and more relaxed by dropping your shoulders, relaxing your eyebrows, even relaxing your tongue and your neck. Feel your feet touching the ground. Feel your sit bones sitting on the chair. Make sure you adjust if you have to. Get some cushion behind your lower back if you need the support. I just really want you to feel present. And I want you to feel content being here for just a minute. So part of what we're doing is we need to identify where this first sector is in our home. And the place that I always ask you to start from is the center. So with your eyes closed and in your mind's eye, I'd like you to visualize yourself standing in the center of your home. Perhaps you kind of already know where that is. Maybe through your imagination, you're standing kind of in the center, and maybe you kind of look down the hall to the left and look down the way to the right. And gosh, from left to right, these exterior walls of my home, do I need to shuffle myself a little more one way or the other to kind of find the center, the geographical center of this point? And same with the front to back, is if you were to look at the front wall of the house and the back wall, are you in the geographical center of that? So where these 2 points converge, I'd like you to feel that energy there, that center, that anchor point of your home. In other words, this is the hub of your home, the hub of your relationships, of the people that come into your home, the hub of your life. So it's always good to start in this anchoring center point, right? To just connect in. It's like click right into the cog of the wheel. It's like I know exactly where I belong. An absolute know that, even if you're walking through the mall and it's a bit chaotic, or you're out to lunch with friends and it's a little bit dramatic, or wherever you might be, that know that at any time you can pull yourself through your imagination, through your intuition, through that energetic connection that you're feeling now to the center of your home, that you can anchor into that and feel grounded no matter what's happening around you. So as you're standing in the center point of your home, I want to make sure that you're facing, so that you're looking at or in the direction of the front wall or the facade of your home. There may be stairs in front of you that are blocking your view, or a room or a wall, and that's okay. I want you to, because you're so powerful, and I want, through your imagination, in your mind's eye, I want you to be able to see through the walls, and I want you to see the front wall of your home. Because I want your shoulders, your beingness, to be parallel to that front wall. And again, kind of, imagine yourself standing in your space here in the center. Imagine what your home feels like to the left of you. And still with your eyes closed, what it feels like to the right of you and behind you and in front of you. And maybe you're even imagining the front yard, the backyard, maybe your neighbors a little bit. Really get familiar with your space being there in a different way, right? Without your judgmental eyes on, or it's like you're looking at a mess, or you're looking at this or that, but your eyes are closed. And this is just through your imagination and your memories that you're tapping into this energy of your home, this sacred space that you've co-created with the people you live with. Now, as you're standing here, I want you to identify the direction that you are facing. So when you're looking out the front wall of your home, straight ahead, what direction is that? Take mental note. Now, it could be north, south, east, or west, but we have to consider the subdirections of northwest, northeast, southeast, and southwest. So know the facing direction of your home. You might know right off the top of your head, or you might have some landmarkers that you can kind of identify with, or think about where the sun comes up, where it sets. Is this Does your front door, is the snow never melt there? Meaning more, it's probably more on the north side. Think about that. Because it's important that you know the facing direction of your home. And you want to align so that you're standing in that facing position as well. Now, the sector we're going to work on today is the north. So, as you're standing here, imagining that you're standing here in the center of your home, now think about where the north is into relationship to the direction you're facing. Do you need to pivot? Do you need to spin around? Are you already facing north? Turn your body now so that you're facing the north. Maybe it's a quarter turn, maybe it's a half turn, whatever it might be. Okay, good. Now you're facing north. Now, I want you to walk to the north corner or the room or rooms or the main room that occupies this north sector. Now, if you need to turn and walk down a hall or walk through the kitchen or walk, around a corner, go ahead and do that. And go stand in the entrance or the doorway of the room, the main room that occupies this space. Because sometimes we might have 2 or 3 rooms in this space. Pick one room for today's exercise. One room that you want to focus on. Maybe it's taking the biggest chunk. Now I want you to identify what this room is. So in your mind's eye, I want you to take mental notes. What is this room used for? Is it a bedroom? Is it a kitchen? Is it a garage? Is it a pantry? What is the room used for? Take mental note. Who occupies the room or uses the room? Is it many people? Is it somebody's bedroom? Somebody's office? Does anybody use the room? Is it an occasional use room, like a guest room? I also want you to take mental note of what you see and what you feel. Take mental note now of how this room makes you feel. Find adjectives that describe how you feel about this space. Is it frustrating, overwhelming, neglected, beautiful, peaceful? Is it your favorite? Do you hate this room? It's okay. Take mental note of how this room makes you feel. Now let's take mental note of what you see. How does the chi or the energy flow in this space? One way to know is to know if you enter the space, is it easy for you to get around? Can you walk in and go right to what you need to? Or do you need to turn your body and shuffle through a narrow passageway? Do you need to step over a pile of something? Do you need to go in one way and then back out to get out? Think about how the chi or the energy flows through the space. Is there flow? Is there stagnation? Is there blockages? Take mental note. Is there stuff in the room that needs to be taken care of? Whether things just need to be picked up, it needs a deep clean, needs some air freshener. Needs the windows opened up? Do the sheets need to be clean? Does it have a closet that needs to be organized? Take mental note of what this room needs from you, what kind of attention you need to give it. Take a good look around. Nobody's there with you. No judgment. You're just observing. Now I want you to take mental note of the colors of this room. The colors of the wall, the decor, the furnishings, the flooring. I also want you to take mental note of any imagery or symbology that you see in paintings, photographs, figurines, patterns on fabric or wallpaper. What do you see as symbology? And what are these messages? Do they reveal happiness? Do they reveal sadness? What is the spectrum? Where does this room fall in the spectrum of the energy that it is giving you, or the occupant in this room? I also want you to look at what needs to be fixed. Meaning, is there anything broken or unfinished in this space? Maybe you started painting and got sidetracked. So there's unfinished painting that needs to be done. Maybe a light bulb needs to be replaced. Maybe the closet door is off its track. Maybe the door handle doesn't work. Maybe baseboard needs to be replaced. Maybe holes need to be patched. Maybe there's a window that needs to be replaced. Is there anything in this room that needs to be fixed? Is it a faucet that's leaking? Is it a toilet that's running? Is there something that needs your attention? Now I'd like you to walk to the window. If there's a window in this space, walk to the window. Take mental note of what you see. Is it a window that you can see out of? Is it too high up that you can't quite reach up and see what's outside? Is it a big view from a big window? Is the glass clean? Take mental note of the window and what your view is. Is your view expansive? Can you see things far off in the distance? Or is it shortened by a structure or trees or something that's limiting this view? Look at the property outside the window. Look at the condition, the health of the property. Is it cared for? Are there weeds that need to be pulled? Is there a water feature that hasn't been pumping water for who knows how long? Take note of these things. Now, before we leave, I want you to take one last look around this room. Is there anything that's standing out? Whether it's something you love or something that irritates you, Take another look. There's something that you need to be aware of. Go back and stand in that doorway or that entryway and turn and look at the room that has this living, breathing consciousness to it, and ask it, what do you need from me? How can I serve you? And listen. Now, when you're ready, take a breath and you can open your eyes. And in your handout, you can complete the top of the first page where it says to begin. And if you don't have the PDF file printed out, you can just look here on the screen and take notes on a piece of note paper. So go ahead and pause this at this time so that you have time to complete this section before we move on. I want you to write down all the things in the mental notes that you took during our walkthrough of this north sector of your home. So go ahead and pause now, and then we'll pick up at the end of this section. Okay, good. Now you've completed this section. Now in the bottom right-hand corner of this top section of this page, in the blue box it says, listen to the words you are using to describe the space. Do they match the energy of what's really happening in this area of your life? This area of your life, the north sector, is your career, your life path, and your journey. This represents the beginning. It's the ease in which you flow through life because it's water energy, right? It's how easy you were born and brought into this world, and the ease in which you choose to move with the flow of life. This also reflects how you learn to adjust to your surroundings, how the tide pushes you and pulls you. Do you resist? Do you react? Do you respond? Do you pause? Do you embrace? This is your life path. This is your career and your journey. This is the beginning. So looking at the words that you use to describe this room, the feelings that you use, do those things in this first section match where you want your life to be going or flowing? Because what's going on inside of us is what we create outside of us. This north sector of your home is a reflection of how you feel about your journey through life, or about your job and your career path. Are they in alignment? This is the gift that Feng Shui gives us. It allows us to see our external world through our internal world so that we can find a way to align these two energies so you're not in conflict. Because oftentimes, we go out and we want to better our life. We go to conferences or workshops or retreats or getaways, or we go to advanced learning and continuing education courses. And we excel and we want to push ourselves because we want to thrive for more things. But then what happens is we come home to an environment that doesn't support this growth that we're doing, this expansive journey that we're on. So we always want to come home and make sure that our physical space that we've co-created with our loved ones, and some of us live alone, we've still co-created this space because we are influenced by other energies. Does this space reflect where I'm going? Or are there reminders there of where I've been, of where I'm not going? That's why it's important to look at the symbology to look at the flow of the space, to see what's broken, what needs your attention, so that we can give that space attention. And in return, we are giving our inner space that attention, because it is all connected. We can't deny that. So good. Have this conversation. Go back through this list if you need to, and make side notes if you need to pause again and say, oh my gosh, yes, this is what this means. I mean, if there's clutter, that means what are things, if it, at the beginning of the guided meditation, it was, if you can't even walk into this space, what kind of roadblocks are showing up for you along your own life path, or advancing in your job or your career? What is things hurdles that you're having to step over, or things that are in the way that are redirecting you and sending you in a different path, or rerouting you or detouring you? It's like, I didn't really want to do this part, but now I'm kind of stuck in this department. The window is symbolic of how expansive our vision is. If we're limited and we look out our window and it's a building, our view is limited. If we have a view of the mountains that are, 20 miles away, that's a more expansive view. Or even what's outside the window on your property. Is it healthy? Is it thriving? Or is it neglected and it needs attention? So maybe you need to take some of your energy outside and do some things out there to repair or to give attention to the external world, because we can't just live in our internal worlds. The next one, who occupies this room? Does somebody else sleep here? Because this might be a space that you really don't have a lot of control over because one of your children lives here, or it's a spouse's office, or this is just the garage and this is where the cars go and this is where we store things. So sometimes our ability to control what's flowing or happening in this space is not in our control. So does that mean that things are out of our control as far as what's guiding our life path? I want you to take a look at that. Is there anything in the space that's been neglected? So if neglect is showing up in your physical space, it could also be showing up in your life path or career, saying, I know I need to do this advanced training to get me to where I want to go, but I've just been putting it off. I've been so busy. That's neglect. So look at the neglect to see how neglect is showing up in your space. Now, is there a bathroom in this space? A bathroom, kitchen, laundry room, those are very unique spaces because they have draining energy in them, right? There's at least one drain. There's going to be a sink drain, a toilet drain, a bathtub drain, shower drain, washing machine drain, kitchen sink, refrigerator drain, dishwasher drain. Those are lots of drains. And so is there energy? Is there one of these rooms in your north sector that's draining your energy, or draining the possibilities, or draining your opportunities? Or it seems like, gosh, as soon as I hear of an opportunity within the company to, progress through the company, by the time I submit my application, somebody else has already got the job. Where is your energy being drained as it relates to your career, your life path, in your journey, and how you're flowing through life? And then the next one is, how do you feel? We always want to tap into our feelings. Are you agitated? Are you impatient? Are you frustrated? Are you happy? I mean, maybe this space is totally reflecting where you are and you're in a good place right now. That doesn't mean we can't honor that and we can't recognize that. Because then through that honor and through that reverence now of recognizing that this space in my home is a symbol of my life path and career, whether it's a good or a bad connection, an alignment, you now see the connection and you're going to treat this space differently. You will be more mindful about your relationship with this space. So keep reflecting. Go back and take notes if you have to. So now what we want to do is I want to take you on another guided meditation to discover what you do want. Because we've seen what you've created. We know where you're at. So let's drop our pens and pencils and push ourselves back away from the desk a bit. Again, uncross any body parts. Go ahead and softly close your eyes. Relax your shoulders. Take a big deep breath. Relax that space between your eyebrows. Relax your jaw. Let your belly relax. No reason to hold it in. And just breathe. Breathe like the waves of the ocean coming in to the beach. Ever so gently. Coming in and then receding. Coming in and then receding. Feel the flow. Maybe you begin to rock a little bit back and forth. Maybe you can even imagine the waves. You can hear them. Just a gentle wave in and out. Now I want you to imagine the powerful magician that you are. I want you to see your ideal life path where you are doing something that brings you joy. Whether it's a career, or it's philanthropic, or it's family, or community, whatever it is, I want you to see it. I want you to fulfill your dream right now in your imagination, as if it's right there, as if it is, as soon as you open your eyes, it would be right there and so tangible. Oh, it feels so good. And I want you to feel what this feels like to be doing what you love. Perhaps a smile comes across your face, or your heart flutters with excitement, or your posture is more proper because you feel more empowered as you step in fully to who it is in the path that you are meant to walk and flow in this lifetime. What is this thing? What is this journey that you're walking? Who are you going to swoop up along with you on your boat as you guide yourself with the current, stopping at this bank and this bank to connect, to do your service, to offer your product, to offer your wisdom, to share your heart, whatever it might be. Picture yourself moving with ease, connecting with the right people at the right time, trusting your intuition, knowing when to pick up pace or knowing when to pull over and rest. That you're absolutely the guide of your own ship. No resistance. Moving at your own pace, using the wind to direct your sails, to slow you down, to speed you up when you need to. does this feel like? Is it freedom? Exhilaration? Does it make you weep? Does it bring you joy? As you see the joy in the people that you touch with whatever it is that you share with them? What is the gift that you are delivering on your life path? Take a snapshot of this. Don't ever forget how this amazing feeling feels, knowing that you can tap into this at any time. Any time when you feel like the flow of life isn't quite what you had imagined. Tap into this feeling and remind yourself of this time. If you want to be more logical about it and create that bullet point list of the things that you're going to achieve, the steps that you need to take, or your ultimate goal, what that looks like written down, don't forget to include your feelings. Your feelings are what's going to take it to another level. Your brain and your body doesn't know the difference between real or imaginary. So even when the reality isn't matching your imagination or your dream, let your dream override the reality. Sit in your dream space and imagine what you're imagining now to quiet the reality and put it in its place. It's beautiful what you're creating and where you're going. But again, the journey, the path is part of it all. Don't be so focused on the end. Be focused on the energy of the ideas that come forth, the creativity, the brainstorming, the connections, the learning, the growing, the developing, the progress that you're making. Be in the joy of all of those moments. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and you'll complete section 2 on the lower half of that first page from your packet, where it says, "Now tell me the story your heart and soul wishes to tell about your life path and career." So take this time to write down your dream, what your heart and soul desires, the feelings. Be sure to include the feelings. And pause the video so you don't feel pressure to hurry up. Take your time and include that all. Okay, so now we're going to go on to section 3 here to the right. The question in section 3 says, is the reality of your physical space, meaning the space that we walked through at the beginning, as you've described it in your notes above, is it in alignment with the story your heart desires? Your physical space versus what you just dreamed about. Does this physical space align with you? Meaning, Does it give you that flow? Does it give you that freedom and that joy and that progress and that expansive and the ability to connect with people? Is it resemblance of that? Be honest, yes or no? Are there things in that room that reflect hard work? Is there a placard on the wall that says, work hard, play hard? Get that thing out of there. Work hard, that's an old paradigm. Do you have an image in the kitchen that shows, people working out in the field, doing labor work? Is that what you want your life path and career to be? So through symbology, through imagery, through colors, we want to make changes to this space so that it is honestly reflecting what our heart's desire is. Now, your heart's desire changes, right? Maybe 20 years ago, it was all about raising family, right? Having kids and what that was. That was your life path. Maybe it's different now. Or maybe you've stepped out of one career and you're going back to school. Or maybe you just finished school and you're stepping into something. Our life paths change. So we want to make sure that our physical environment is constantly keeping up with us so it's not holding us back. Because if that room, say for instance, that room, 20 years ago we created that room and it's got all of our children's artwork and family pictures in there. Well, now they've moved out and that is not my life path anymore. Maybe my life path is about me. So maybe I need to get rid of those children's pictures, take them out, move them to a proper sector, and put stuff in there that helps me. So we're going to talk a little bit later on about some items or some decor pieces that you can bring in to support this energy that you're looking for. So if this room feels like this is a good fit for you and you can walk into this space and said, yep, this is expansive, the chi is flowing really good in here, this is exciting, I love this space, great. You might want to add some things, but go ahead, check yes, this is an alignment for me. If not, and the chi's not flowing in there, there's a piece of artwork on the wall that you need to get down immediately, or you need to go wash the windows in there, then click check no. And then I want you to write down some actionable steps. Right here it says, if no, then make an action plan. Make a list of physical changes you can make to this space. Something that maybe there's a few things that's like, yeah, I know I need to paint, or I know I need to replace the carpeting, or I know I need to call a handyman and have them come fix some things. Put those on there, but also be sure to include 2 or 3 things that that as soon as this workshop is over, you can go in there and do them in 15 minutes, right? Whether it's scooping up clothes and getting them off the floor, clearing out underneath the bed, washing the sheets, washing a window, something like that, replacing a light bulb, something that's easy that you can do. Because you need to because what we're doing here is you're observing your space, then you're feeling your space, then you're feeling your desires, and you're getting in connection with what your heart's desire is, what your life path is about, but then you need to take action, right? You can sit here and dream about that you're eating this amazing big old sandwich and it's really packed full of everything, but until you really get up and go in the kitchen and make it, it's not going to happen. We're just not to that point yet, right? Yeah, we're manifestors, but some of us can't even manifest, the basics. So we've got to take some actionable steps. So if you need to pause and you need to write down some things to do, this is going to be your checklist. This is going to be your to-do list of what you need to do in this space. And maybe it's just go spend more time in this space because you neglect this. Or maybe it's just a guest room and nobody ever goes in there. Maybe you just need to go spend more time. Or maybe you need to go organize some shelves or clear out underneath the sink or clear some drawers out and organize things. Okay? So make that list and go ahead and pause if you need to. And then we'll move on to the next step. So on the next page at the top, I'm giving you here some energies that are all very similar, right? They all resonate with this water north energy of this sector of your home. So the north sector, And hopefully you'll be inspired, especially if you do have the workbook, if you did order the workbook or you decide to order the workbook, it does. And I do have some videos on YouTube that walk you through how to do an accurate compass reading and how to put that on your floor plan and such. The north sector occupies 45 degrees, right? So there's 8 directions and then there's the center. So we really want to know a little bit more specific of, where that 45 degrees is sitting on your floor plan or over your house. That energy of the north is a cool energy, and it's governed by the Chinese element of water. Okay? Yang water energy is the ocean. It's deep, it's mysterious, it's unpredictable. It's sometimes it's calm seas and sometimes it's turbulent and you're in over your head. Yin water energy is like a cup of water or a shallow pool. Yin water energy is more approachable, it's more manageable, right? You can clean up a spill on the counter. Water dries up off, out of the gutter or off your patio. It evaporates. But yang water energy, you can't manage that. You have to adjust to its energy. If you're out on a boat on the ocean, you could have the baddest boat ever with the greatest sails and the biggest motor, but if that sea gets too turbulent or too violent, you're going to have to surrender. Same with downpours, hurricanes, that kind of energy. If that's coming, you've got to surrender. It doesn't matter how many sandbags you put up. If you can't control water, you have to surrender to it. So yin energy is more of a manageable energy, where yang energy we have to adjust to. The chakra is the root chakra, right? Again, this is how we were birthed. This is the beginning of time, and water is the beginning. So the root chakra is about survival and trust and nourishment. The I Ching, which is a divination tool, it's the book of changes, is called Kan, which is water. The zodiac animal that lives in the north sector is the rat. Now think about the rat. They're known to live in damper, cooler temperatures in the night. So it's kind of that rat. Rat energy is very similar to water energy. The number is 1. This is sector 1. It's related with the number 1 in numerology, meaning the leader, independence, beginning, achieving kind of energy. Like we know, the sector in BTB Feng Shui, if you were to break the house down into sectors, this is your journey, your life path, your career. It's about your individuality, how you show up. Now for decor items, you would really bring in anything that's water related, right? Ocean images. Maybe you have pictures of your family at the beach, or maybe you have a waterfall image or a stream, or being on a boat in the lake. Any kind of imagery like that. They could be paintings, photographs, anything. A ship. That's even think about some of the sayings that we say in our culture. Hey, your ship's coming in. That means opportunities are coming in, or get on the ship. That kind of imagery, whether it's a figurine or on the wall. Sea turtles. Sea turtles are great symbology because turtles represent longevity because they live so long. Seashells, right? Because they come from the sea. So having a bowl of seashells, even that nautilus symbol, that spiral symbol of the flow of life is also very water energy. Fish, so whether it's images of fish like koi fish, or even, a fish tank, because fish swim, right? They flow, they go back and forth, they kind of swim in that figure 8. And so it's about creating flow of energy in that space. So if you do have a space that's a bit stagnant, having something in there that's constantly moving, like a bowl of fish or a tank of fish, is very beneficial. And it can even be a little bowl of fish with the little wind-up fish. It doesn't need to be real fish. It can be just those little battery-operated fish that just kind of circle in the bowl back and forth. A fountain. It could be a larger fountain outside, or it could be a little desktop water feature. Make sure that when you place a water feature that it's always flowing into the home or into the space. You don't want to be sending energy out, right? Because then it's pushing or keeping the chi out rather than bringing it in. So we want energy to flow into us. Vision board, right? Because this is your career and your life path. So create a vision board, but be sure when you create a vision board that you're including feelings in here. So whether it's you're putting words like happiness, joy, excitement, or you're putting imagery of people that are in that state of feeling, be sure to include feelings. It can't just be, I want this $3 million house and this car and this much money. It needs to have this feeling part attached to it. So place a vision board in your north sector. You could do a blue, because the color is, sorry, I didn't really go over that. I guess it's down below, but the colors are blue, any shade of blue. Aquas, deep blues, light blues, baby blues, teals, anything as long as it's more on a blue side than it is a green side. And then, of course, the color black is related to the color of water, like the dark, deep blacks of the ocean. So you can use, like a cardboard that's that color, a poster board that's that color to create your vision board from. It's also a place to write your career goals, whether it's on a board or, you've got Post-its hung up or whatever, things. But then again, remember to infuse this kind of mundane list of goals that here's the things I need to, accomplish, interject their feelings. Maybe they're through emojis, print out little emojis that are happy or pictures or words that bring up the emotion in you. Sensorially, through vision, it's the color blues and blacks. It would also be the shapes of waves or curvy lines, okay? So even patterns in fabric, wallpaper, or artwork would definitely be a way to incorporate this if you didn't want to be too literal. And as far as sacred geometry, the cube is connected to the root chakra in this sense. Drumming, it's because it's that root chakra energy, the musical note of low C, and then groaning are sounds. Some aromatherapies that you could infuse would be cinnamon, sandalwood, and eucalyptus. The touch is wet and cold. The fabric would be cotton, and some stones would be lapis lazuli, black onyx. Think of blues and blacks again. So if you wanted to bring in something, like even those, I wish I had a sample right here to show you, those sliced agates, to find some that had the blues. That would be really pretty to have setting, even the coaster setting out in that area, or a place, maybe you have a larger one, so it looks like a little pond or a little puddle that adds some water that you could drop, put things on. And then, of course, salty, dark, and fresh fish is connected to water energy, right? So you could consume those kinds of things as well. To the right there in the blue box, here's some affirmations that you could include on your vision board or put up in this area on Post-it notes that say, I am enough. Or you could say, I am more than enough. I choose life. Life flows with ease. I trust myself. Because one of the emotions that come up with the north sector is fear versus trust. Picture yourself even out in the ocean. You're out there and, there's one, there's different points in the journey where, if you're overboard, you jump into fear mode. And you're fighting for your life, because sometimes life does, the tide gets high and we can't keep our head, we can't keep afloat sometimes, and we feel like we just can't do it. We can't get on ground, solid ground. We can't even see solid ground. And then there comes a time when we have to surrender and trust. Trust that if we're meant to make it, we're going to make it. And if we don't, then that's okay too. So that too, if there's any issues with trusting or fear, keep the negative words off your vision boards, all in your lists or any imagery that you have in your house, not just this sector, but anywhere. And they should only be positive words, okay? So the next step then in the in the section is to create your altar or a sacred space. Now, ideally, my dream for you is that this whole north sector becomes so sacred to you that everything you place in this is so consciously and purposefully thought of, and it's only brought into this space because it has meaning and because it supports your life path in your career, not just of you, but maybe you have a child that's just getting their first job and it will support them, or somebody's going away and doing something important, it supports their mission, or your spouse. You want it to support everybody. So I really want you from this point forward to walk into this space as you would any other space if you do the other 8 sections in the book, is to be mindful. Is this space reflecting where we want to go, where we want to be? Do we want to be vacationing more? Do we want to spend more time together? Do I need more time to myself? So create a space that's reminding you. So when you walk in this space, it reminds you, oh my gosh, that's right. I'm supposed to sit and meditate for 10 minutes a day because that's what I said I was going to do. Maybe this is a room that you can create a chair to do that in. Create a sit. Maybe it's just a cushion on the floor that's really beautiful and comfortable, that's where you get to do that. Or maybe there's a piece of artwork that reminds you, it's like, oh yes, this is my dream. Someday we're all going to get to take a cruise because this is what's on my vision board. I want everything in this space to be reflective of who you are and what your life path is meant to be. So if there's things now that are in there that aren't reflecting that, take them out. They might be suited better to another sector in your house. So don't get rid of them, but take them out of this space for now. And then when you're out and about and you see a piece, it's like, oh my gosh, I think I want to bring this into my space because that resonates with me. This is how I want to feel in my life. Then bring that in. So use things that you already have. Maybe you have something in another room that would be better suited in this space because it's blue. It's like, oh, well, I have a blue blanket I can throw over the sofa. Gosh, that looks like a waterfall coming into my home. So I'm going to take that blue blanket from my bedroom and bring it in here. Whatever it might be, try to use what you have. So we want to remember, here it says the water element allows for healing and clarity. Maybe you need to be drinking more water. It allows for movement, right? Flow. Water helps us travel. It helps with communication, right? We take a sip of water to clear our throats so I can speak more clearly. Water is depth. It's reflection, right? We see our reflection. So maybe you have a mirror that's laying on the table like a pond that's reflecting. So you be mindful then of what you would put on top of that mirror that you want doubled or reflected. It's about vision and connection, expansiveness, sensitivity, your intuition, and your effectiveness. This sector is about you. You as an individual, you as an individual family, you as an individual company, whatever it might be. This is your journey, your desires, and your connection in how you choose to move through this time-space reality. You could add sound. Maybe you add an aromatherapy diffuser to just put a little bit of a moisture with some eucalyptus into this air. Maybe you just open the window to allow the flow. And like I said before, perhaps a blue scarf or a blanket draped over a shelf or something to add a touch of flow of that blue energy, like it's a little stream running through the woods. Again, make sure it's flowing into the space and not away. Now, I always like it when we can create something a little bit artistic. We put ourselves into something, even if we feel like we're not artistic. But I've provided a prompt for you on the next page. And it looks like this little image below with the V. And this is a unique prompt, and each prompt for each section is different. And the energy of this one is it can be seen as a funnel, Or you could turn it on its side and it could be seen as an arrow. You could turn it upside down and it could be seen as like a pinnacle, like a peak, something that you're striving for. So however you choose to orient this card or this page is up to you. But I want you to look back at your notes, use those feeling words, and look at the design and the colors and stuff that you can use. So you can use blues and blacks, maybe a touch of red because that's the root chakra, not too much red. But then you could use wavy lines. You could use the words like I am more than enough, or I flow with ease, or I trust. Maybe your piece of artwork is just flowing, it's just energy. And then on the back of it, you write your affirmations, or you write your dreams, or your goal, or your intention. It's designed to be cut out. It's a 4x6, and then for you to frame it. Put it in a black frame, maybe. And then go place it in this north sector room of your home as the beginning of your altar space, as the first reminder that you have. But here's the thing. I want you to go and place this with intention. Maybe you set it on the shelf. Maybe you hang it up on the wall with some 3M Velcro stuff. Whenever you do that, we do it with reverence. We do it with intention and purpose. So you go in there and just say a little prayer. Say a little, cheerleading fight song, whatever it is that you need to place that and say, this is going to be my reminder, or this is my gratitude for this space, reflecting what it does for me, keeping me on track of my life path and my life's purpose, whatever that is. And then I want you to place that there. Now what you've done is you've brought attention to the space. And now the space is, wow, she knows why I'm here. She knows he knows what we're doing together. There's a new awareness and appreciation now for this space and this area of your life. And then every time you enter this space, whether you're physically looking at this great little piece of artwork that you're creating or not, it will trigger your subconscious and it will remind you, this is your purpose. This is your path. So I'm sorry, it's not the exact next page. The next page is some additional aspects to explore, letting you do this on your own time. If this is something you want to sit down with and do by yourself or with a partner, whether it's a business partner or your life partner, or maybe it's just you and a child and it's like, where are we going? We're thinking about moving. Sit down and go over this with them. Maybe you create this artwork together, or you print out another copy and you each do one. But color in that prompt. Again, orient it horizontal, upside down, backwards, however you want it. But I want you to feel the energy of that point. Do you want it at the top? Do you want to be a funnel because you're learning right now and you just want to receive everything you can? Do you want to be going in a specific direction? Color that in, cut it out, and put it in a frame and place it in your space. Here's one that I did for myself. To me, this was more of like, I feel like things for me in my life are unfolding, but I don't want it to be, I know it's unknown, but I need some organization to it. So I kind of created almost like a flower, how it would unfold. And so this is the way I chose to orient my art card for this sector. And you can see I put it in a blank frame. I put a little prayer on the back of it. And now the energy of what I've created is being held in this sector of my home. And I absolutely love that. I love that every time that I see that. And so here's some words even I put on this slide down the left: clarity, flow, ease, journey, the mystery, allowance, the vision, momentum, and faith. Those are some words too that you can incorporate into your art. I've even seen an art card that was a collage. they made that, it was like a mini vision board. It was a collage of words and colors and glitter and everything. So however you choose to do it is up to you. It's been my pleasure to walk you through this sector of your home. And as you can probably imagine, you can do this in all of the 9 sectors of your home. You can purchase the whole workbook if you'd like. I don't have it available quite yet as a downloadable file. I'm working on that. But you can order the hard copy. There's a lot of other content besides just the 9 sections. There is other things in there about some background on Feng Shui, how to get a compass reading, some tips, more information on the elements, and kind of some esoteric stuff. So that is available on my Etsy page. And as you can see, here's some ways that you can stay connected with me on the left there through Facebook, Instagram, even Pinterest. I have some little YouTube classes or classes on YouTube. Just ways for you to just gather different information, whether it's through tips that I post on social media or it's some longer little lessons or insights on video, whatever it might be. Don't even feel shy about following me or reaching out to me. Again, or there's also some ways that you can work with me. If you liked this experience and you loved this is what I do as a consultant when I go into people's homes and businesses. We walk around to each sector. I'm looking at you. I'm watching your body language. I'm listening to what you're saying about the space. I'm also listening to what you're not saying about the space because I see what I see and I feel what I feel. And then we're going to talk about just like what we talked about here. But I wanted to provide a workbook to empower you to get you going. So if you feel like you've gotten so far and maybe you need another, set of eyes or intuition on what you're doing or where you're hung up, you can work with me on one-on-one if you want. I do take some home and business consultations. I spend a lot of my time teaching. I do train and certify Feng Shui practitioners. So if Feng Shui looks like something that might come into your life, in a deeper way, in a more expansive way, maybe it's something that you could supplement your current career with, maybe you're a counselor or a life coach or a realtor or interior designer, jewelry maker, anything, this would be a huge supplement to your career, really kind of any job. And if you're like, this is your first kind of take on Feng Shui and it's like, wow, this is really kind of cool. I never really thought of looking at my space like this. There's a next step that's kind of a natural step. And it's always the first step in working one-on-one with me anyway. And that is to do a 4-pillar Chinese astrology reading. So if you're interested in having that done, it's a 1.5 hour reading. And it's your personal Feng Shui. It reveals your 5 Chinese elements, your strengths and your weaknesses. It also reveals what 4 Chinese animals you have in your chart. And then we can look at not only your chart and the dynamics within your chart, your relationships with your family members and where you are in your life, but it prepares you for the changing energies like the next year or the next month or the next luck cycle that you're entering into, and how those are going to influence your chart. Is it a time that you need to lay low? Is this a year or a month that you need to kick it in gear and get things going? What is it? And so there's a lot that we can look at in that 4-pillar Chinese astrology chart. And then when you're going through the workbook or we're working together one-on-one, then you can see, because maybe you have a rat in your chart and you don't even know it. Maybe you weren't born the year of the rat, but maybe you were born during the day of the rat or the hour of the rat. And so it would be important to know because, right, the rat lives in the north. And so if the north is influencing you, not only your career and life path, it could be influencing another aspect of your life. For instance, if the rat sits in your hour pillar, the hour you were born, it would affect your emotions. If it was the day you were born, it would affect your physical health and well-being. If it was the month you were born, it would affect how you respond to pressure and your mind, your belief systems. And of course, if it's the year you were born, it does affect your life path. And guess what? 2020 is the year of the rat. We're moving into that. So that would be another influence. The 2020, the year of the rat, will influence all of us. How it influences each of us depends on our own personal Chinese astrology chart. That is the tool. It is a powerful tool that I used to see you. It's my portal in to begin to create a custom personalized feng shui experience for you. The workbook is more of a general, here's what we can do. It's very, very effective, but doing the astrology chart takes it to a completely other level. And that can be done for you, family members, whatever. So anyway, there's my contact information. You can email me at learn@fengshuivia.me, or reply to me on one of the social media platforms and reach out to me. Or if you just want to jump on, we can meet. If you live in town here in the Salt Lake area, we can meet up for a cup of coffee, or we can do virtual coffee via Zoom or the phone call and just explore where you're at. No pressure, never any pressure. I'm not that kind of person. I just want you to feel empowered in making the best decisions for the right reasons in moving forward. For yourself, your personal self, your personal feng shui, as well as your physical space. Because our physical space can either support us and help elevate us and move us and project us into what we want, or it keeps us stuck because it's the same thing. It's like, oh my gosh, I've been living this same way for 15 years. I've got to make a change. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I would love your feedback. I really would. This is the first little workshop I've done like this, and I really do respect any feedback that you have. Go back through it if you want. You have access to it, and share it with friends. And I look forward to hearing from you, and have a lovely day wherever you are. Get outside, soak up the elements, open the front door, shift the energy of the home. I don't care what temperature it is out. Open the door for 5 or 10 minutes, shift the temperature inside your house, let it change the chi. Because whenever we can shift the chi, whether it's opening the front door or turning on some music or singing or dancing, opening the window, it's a good thing. I thank you. I appreciate you. I love you. And happy feng shuiing out there, everybody. Bye-bye.